okay? If you got a beef with somebody, a person beef with somebody, why come to a club? Why do you need an audience to work it out? Go on up in Wiser Park someplace by yourself and do y'all damage to each other and be done with it. But for some reason, our young men and women, quite frankly, want an audience. They want an audience, and it kind of inspired them to do this crazy stuff. So if you don't tolerate it, then it kind of stops. So.
Take that initiative to Linda Brooks and have her get on Now and Next.
Yes. Linda's. Let me tell you something. Me and Linda could sit here all day, and we will agree on 8% of the things. I mean, 8 out of the 10 things we do. Okay, 80% of the things we do. And then the other 20%, she's going to be steadfast, I'm going to be steadfast, but we're going to agree to disagree. That's just me and Linda. She loves me, I love her, but she's a strong-minded woman, and very opinionated. And I love that about her, So she speaks her mind, and she tries to back up what she says. I got total respect for somebody like her, I really do.
Back. My next guest is Linda Brooks. Linda, welcome to the show. Here, look at me.
Thank you.
Yes, over here. That was American Legion Post 148 Commander Anthony Payne talking about you, and he was talking about that you're a stubborn woman and you don't give up, and he's very complimentary in doing that. He also said that the Legion is undergoing a change right now. They're changing the identity of the American Legion, and obviously women are a part of this. What's going on down there?
Yes. First of all, I would like to thank you for inviting me onto your program, and let you know that it is called the Charles C. Anderson American Legion Post 148. The post, the American Legion has 4 pillars. We deal with Veterans Affairs and Rehabilitation, National Security, Americanism, Children and Youth Programs is what we're supposed to be about. But the post for many years was about those, but it wasn't the forefront. It was more about entertainment.
Okay, but right now, and that's what they're evolving from. Now, you're a veteran yourself.
Yes.
You were in the what were you in?
In '84, I was involved with the Grenada, and then in I believe it was 1990, the Desert Storm conflict. And
now, if I'm even incorrect about this, were you a paratrooper?
No, I was not. I was not airborne.
Did you ever do any jumping out of planes or what have you?
No, that's airborne. That's airborne.
Okay.
I was at the I was at Fort Bragg, which is home of the 187.
Okay.
So I was stationed there.
All right. So at the American Legion, over here on Lewis Street here in Hannah, I had a chance to talk with some of the other women, and I was talking with a lady by the name of Martha Curry.
Yes.
And she was taking memberships. So are you looking for more women to join in addition to men?
Sure. We welcome all veterans. In particular, we're trying to get the homeless veterans, the veterans who don't know about their benefits, that need rehabilitation, that don't know that they can go to school or they can get involved in some sort of rehabilitation program so they can get a job.
Okay. So now, while you're down there, okay, what do you have here in front of you? You guys.
I just want to make sure I give correct information so that people would know. This is our American Legion guide, and the guide that we have that we use to help people.
Okay, but let me ask you this now, because we want to talk about again this how we're trying to change the mindset. We had a person concerned about nutrition, and she was talking about just keeping it simple, eat certain foods, and leave the other stuff alone, and create new habits. And next guest talks, a little bit about God and scripture to change your mindset. You are a very busy young woman, because I've been following you around here. You interest me to so many people. Recently, and this, I think all this is through the American Legion. Most of it is through the American Legion. What have you done lately through the American Legion?
Okay, so the American Legion is really an organization that kind of services the community as well as the veterans. Like, I am the health committee chair for NAACP, so we have a lot of things that we're doing under health care that was even brought over to the American Legion. For instance, the Black Church and HIV social justice imperative this year. When we got to the day of prayer for HIV and AIDS, the commander and the executive board, they authorized for the NAACP to utilize the facility, the community room in particular. There's two sides. You have your bar or club, and then you have your community room at most posts. So we utilized the community room to have the HIV Day of Prayer, and we invited all of the clergy, and we invited a lot of people from the community and everything for that.
So, you know, as you're doing these outreach programs, again, with changing mindsets, how is it coming so far in motivating the male pastors, female pastors? How is that coming along? Because traditionally, and other guests have told me that the men are hard to motivate.
Well, Fort Wayne has a unique blend of leadership when it comes to our clergy, and I will say that they are so supportive in these social issues that we're dealing with in this community.
So they're on the good side then?
Oh yes, oh yes.
Okay.
The leadership has been very positive and supportive on a lot of the social issues. In particular, when we had the Black Church and HIV social justice imperative, we had several churches that participated and several pastors that participated, and they took the information back to their churches, and now the youth or people in the community know that if they have HIV or AIDS, they have a place they can go and get counseling and support from a biblical and spiritual perspective without no judgment. Everything is confidential. So by the post allowing us to have that event up there, the day of prayer, that was a really positive thing. We even have had initiatives up there for the African American infant mortality initiative was there.
Now, how did you get involved with that?
Okay, Miss Phyllis Bragg approached me, and well, let me back up just a little bit and talk about Miss Curry, because the Legion has the Legion family consists of 4 different entities. You have the post, you have an executive board, they're the governing body. Then you have the Sons of the American Legion. Okay, that's anybody that's related to someone that's in the military. Then you have the auxiliary, which is for women, girls, and things that, you know, females. And you also have the American Legion Riders, which do a great deal of community outreach and different programs. So the African American infant mortality initiative came when Ms. Phyllis Bragg, I invited her to come to our auxiliary meeting, and the president of the auxiliary, Ms. Pat Turner, was open, and the board was open. Everybody in the auxiliary was opening to supporting that initiative. So we had that at the Charles C. Anderson Post 148.
You know, that was a beautiful program because I got a chance to talk to those people. And I got a chance to talk to learn about third-hand smoke, which I never heard about, which Pat Turner was talking about. But I also was enlightened to see how all these people were set up in a preventative way to jump on problems that are now present.
Okay, you know, I have to say the Chi Edify sorority, Miss Phyllis Bragg and Miss Jordan, I think, they did an excellent job. They brought in experts on infant mortality. We had video class, we had training, they had training class set up inside of the community center. They had sort of like quiz to quiz parents on how to take care of their infants, and it was it was very diverse. It was fathers and mothers. It was single mothers. Some had twins. You know, we got an opportunity to hold the pretty babies and play with them that day. So it just made the post feel like it's supposed to be as part of our 4 pillars that I talked about before: youth and children, family. So it really made everybody feel like, hey, you know, we're getting down to back or close to what we want to invite the community in and make it feel more community oriented.
But again, I met these people through you.
Right.
And earlier I met some other people over at one of your neighborhood carnivals.
Okay.
Why do you do that?
Okay, every year we have over in the 46803 and 806 or the Southeast Fort Wayne, we have a group of citizens that are taking initiative to unite and pull together and provide a block party. Now, what makes this unique is all the funds for this are basically coming within the community, and you have people that's pulling together to show the youth in that area, on that southeast side, that's diverse, that we love them, that we're willing to invest our money in them, not, hey, you know, somebody else invest in them. They get to actually see us show them love that day. You know, everybody that's involved with the, it's called the Renaissance Point Southeast Side Party Society. That's what we call ourselves, because we do stuff with youth and we do stuff with seniors as well. We have senior programs where we actually cater to the seniors. So it's a lot going on there.
But everybody who I interviewed there pointed the fingers back at you as being the coordinator of this whole initiative. Mm-hmm. And then, what all do you do with the Urban League? Because we mentioned the NAACP, the American Legion, mm-hmm. And what do you do with them? Was it you have a?
Well, actually, the Urban League is something I've been working with for probably about 13, maybe 14 years. As a personal trainer, group exercise instructor for Step Up to Fitness, that's my company. I also do 5K walks and runs. I've been a race director, race coordinator for fundraisers for people who want to do that. So the Urban Run Walk is something I've been doing with them for 13 years, I believe, maybe 14. And that's one of their fundraisers. So I do all of the logistics for that, you know, for the actual walk itself. Also, you asked me, and the Urban League, Urban Youth Empowerment Program. That's a youth program that they have where I actually get the opportunity to mentor to youth in the community that, you know, go over to the Urban League for different things. They have mentors like myself, you know, invite the youth out and teach them, take them to educational events, spend time with them, you know, anything to get them to have a positive, you know, outlook on life and support what they do, you know, maybe help them get scholarship, things of that nature.
You know, again, as we're talking about impacting our mindset mm-hmm. and adjusting other mindsets, how did your mindset become such that, in spite of the headaches of dealing with people mm-hmm. that often happen when you're doing different things, you stay aggressively doing this, working with these different groups, doing things, and not taking any credit for it?
Okay, so that goes to what we call, like our block party is called, it takes a village to raise a child. That's the theme for our block party. It takes a village to raise a child, and we've been doing it. This will be like our 3rd year. We are a product of our society, and things have changed. When, you know, when the Parks Department, when I was growing up, the people that worked in the Parks Department were the ones that gave me a lot of that were a positive influence on me, you know. Like Robin Stith, to name one, and there were many others, but I remember her more because she was there every summer. And so it wasn't about policies and bureaucracy and procedures. Like now, it's like shutdown time, you know. Oh, we can't do anything unless the director, unless the Parks Department approves us. Well, back then, it was the community was the community. If you worked in our community, you were teaching us things about our community. You weren't having to go back to the Parks Department and say, hey, you know, we want to do this. Can we get your approval? Now you have to go through a whole bunch of policy, procedures, and bureaucracy to utilize our Parks Department for the youth in our Parks Department. So someone else is telling our youth and controlling our youth on what they can learn and what they can't learn. When I came, we learned our history, our culture. We were always told positive things about ourselves. They built relationships. Okay, we have a lot of good programs at the Parks Department now. I'm not knocking it, but I know that a lot of things that are more culturally sensitive are restricted.
You know, one thing that we didn't get a chance to touch on, because it just slipped my mind earlier, a couple things actually. The lack of a good track in the inner city community. You had some comments to say about the YMCA and how other areas, how on the south side we're getting lower level facilities.
Yes, I think that for a fact, when you have otherwise with indoor walking tracks, X amount of outdoor trails in their community, I think it's only fair that we should have the same. Now you understand, they have, the Parks Department have an indoor track at Macmillan, but you understand we're required to pay $1 in order to utilize the Macmillan facility, which is public Parks Department. I mean, what is that happening at other parks where you have to pay to use the inside track? I don't know, but I know that we need one in our community. For instance, over at Phoenix Manor, you have several seniors that want to be in the community, like it there. They want to be able to walk, but they can't, because if you go to the Y located in our community, it doesn't have an indoor track. You know, they can't walk in there. They have to walk out in the elements, which is not good for seniors.
You know, and again, as we're winding down here, recently there was another event that took place over in the Creighton, Bowser area. Real quickly, what did the tearing down of the Bowser pump building, why did that impact you so deeply?
Because the African American community in Fort Wayne is so ignored and neglected our voices that the people that actually live in the community aren't being talked to. They might go talk to some African American people outside of our community, okay, and they give their opinion, but if they don't live there, I don't think it's right for the city to make decisions without contacting the citizens. And I don't feel like they followed proper procedure and guideline in posting that they were going to destroy a landmark, or a historic building. It's a beautiful facility. It's a beautiful building. That would have been a centerpiece of our community if they would invest in that, like they're going to invest in a riverfront. You know, $20 million already spent on riverfront stuff, and the river still look like a sewage to me. So
well, Linda, you know, by highlighting your example, we just want to show other women and other men that they too can get involved here, because not enough people are involved, right? And anyway, we're out of time here.
okay.
Thank you for watching tonight's show. We wanted more phone calls, but we didn't get any phone calls. So thank you all for watching tonight's show. Good night, and God bless you.